Hey JCraft fans, welcome to a special video today. 20 survival games coming to console. I know a lot of you guys play Grounded on your Xbox, and I know a lot of you guys are into survival. Well, I did post this video on my main channel, and I figured I'd post it here as well in case you're not subscribed. So go and check out the 20 games you have got to look forward to if you're a console scrub. As always, I'll be there to give you the news, guides and gameplay. Let's go, 20 games. So the earliest you'll be playing one of these brand new games is October the 6th, when Medieval Dynasty arrives on Xbox and PlayStation, but it won't be on the older gen, only Series XS and the PS5. Slightly disappointed it's not releasing on older gen, but there you go. The latest update they've just added on PC gives you the chance to pass off your knowledge to your offspring, which is something they've been meaning to add to the game since its inception, and they're adding co-op next year, so it does look like consoles will hopefully follow suit and receive the same updates. Survive, thrive, build out your settlement, go through different seasons, defending your village from bandits while you gather enough resources to see through harsh winters. Medieval Dynasty, October the 6th. Forever Skies is coming out on PC, meant to be anyway, later on this year, without any release date as of right yet. I've got a feeling it will be pushed back until early next. No matter what though, they've said they're going to release it on consoles in the future as well. Think Subnautica, but in the skies, with a green horrible fog maybe hiding giant kaiju monsters, and you get the idea. You'll be able to fully customize your airship, you'll be hunting around in all sorts of skyscrapers and different types of biomes as you try and gather enough resources to synthesize all sorts of viruses or cures. The idea being that you're meant to make sure that Earth is safe to return. It will be solo play when it launches on PC, but again they're going to be adding co-op to it as it progresses. Don't expect a console release to 2024 though. One of the very few PlayStation exclusives, in fact Xbox is the leading winner when it comes to survival games in the future. Little Devil Inside has been long promised. First initially developed in 2014 for the Wii U, eventually now has been upgraded. That will be coming to all platforms, but it will be a launch exclusive on PlayStation for probably a year or so. It's an unusual one. It's going to be an open world style Monster Hunter style game where you are trying to track down these weird big monsters while surviving with full blown food, water, making sure you've got the right armors to protect yourself against temperatures, and of course a lot more. Meant to have come out last year again, and then maybe some point this year, but we still haven't had any news since January when they showed off another gameplay trailer. Again, at this rate, with no appearances at any of the PlayStation Directs, I'm not expecting it out this year now. I fully expect it to be announced again for release next year. The game will have co-op. You'll have basically shadow selves of the main character that other friends will be able to join and play. And ignore the cute sort of art style, this one is going to be a full-blown survival game. Another survival game releasing on PC hopefully soon, but won't actually appear on consoles for a lot longer yet, Smalland. Yes, people have unfairly compared it to Grounded, not knowing that Smalland was actually in development before Grounded was. You can check out some of my previous videos to get more info about that. But this is going to be a co-op multiplayer survival game that you play with your friends while you survive in a mysterious woodland, exploring the kind of ruins of humanity and where have they disappeared to. Lots of bugs to ride, lots of creatures to fight. If you're scared of spiders, you might want to avoid this one. Crafting, base building, all sorts of armors and weapons. Smalland was meant to have had a demo and I say a release in the early part this year, but they changed lead creator and it seems to have made a bit of a slowdown, or maybe they just want to get the game in a better position. Eventually though, it will be arriving on consoles in the far future. Merge the publishers have massive experience in doing so, as the majority of their games that they've made have been ported to all systems. And they did confirm in lots of interviews and stuff, as well as lots of early footage, that they would be appearing on consoles in the future. But yeah, another one, console fans, you'd have to probably wait till 2024 at least. Is there anything releasing this year? Maybe. Void Train has been out on the Epic Games Store for just over a year now, I think, and it's meant to be coming out on Steam this October. So we do know also that it's been featured as part of the Xbox sort of gaming events in the last few months. So yeah, it's going to be coming to the Xbox Game Preview program. Looking likely to be a Games Pass exclusive or window launch at least anyway. So this unusual survival game where you go through the atmosphere, exploring all sorts of mad dimensions while upgrading your train to keep you safe. Focused on shooting and combat where you take on mysterious assailants at these stations and maybe creepy monsters as you go through the dimensions, it is going to be a co-op game as well. Potentially they could launch at Xbox at the same time, but there hasn't been any news about that. We just know that it's coming to Steam. So I think early 2023. 8 years after the first reveal trailer, Dead Island is actually coming out on the 3rd of February 2023. It's going to be one of the earliest survival games you get to play next year. I'll bet more RPG-like. Co-op action, as you would expect, running around with your friends, demolishing all sorts of zombies' heads in while meeting colourful, crazy NPCs. It had a massive reboot 4 years ago with another dev team put on it. Have they been able to rescue this game and make a classic to the really, really well received original that started off so many other games like Dying Light as well? We'll find out when it comes to Xbox and PlayStation, current and old gen. Do you like PvP in survival games? Well, how about playing something by the creators of Dead by Daylight? This is Meet Your Maker, and it's offering PvP without the worry about being offline raided. In fact, the goal here is to go ahead and craft and build your own bases, where other players will then have to tackle them to get some of this DNA matter. That's the premise behind Meet Your Maker. Very different from most other survival games, but something I can get behind. I love PvP, but I can't devote hours of my life to make sure my base doesn't get raided while I'm not online. So this is the perfect solution. Try and test out new configurations, place traps as well as mobs and enemies, and see if any players can get through your deadly labyrinth and floors of chaos and mayhem. You'll gain unlocks and progress as you complete other players' dungeons, and you will be able to play it with 2 players. I do believe it's co-op as well. Something really fresh, really new, and I'm going to be showing it off as much as I can when it eventually arrives next year. All platforms and current and older gen. Switch fans may be feeling a bit left out since we've only really covered Ark. Guess what? There is another one coming for you. It's called Wizard with a Gun, and again it's a bit of an unusual. I would say it's a combination of Don't Starve mixed in with Magicka. You are a wizard and you've got guns. You'll be able to craft all sorts of bullets, maybe potions and more, as you're running around a 2D world, fighting off against all sorts of creatures and basically, yeah, being a wizard with a gun. Full-blown multiplayer survival experience. It's looking to come to Nintendo Switch and PC. No news yet about an Xbox or a PlayStation launch. Gather resources, build up enough to craft all sorts of weird stuff and try and survive. Meant to be releasing this year, but it's been a while since we heard any news, so maybe towards the end of the year we'll see this. PlayStation fans, look away. It looks like Valheim won't be appearing on console for a good few years, if ever. The absolute sensation, sold 10 million copies, massively positively received. Valheim has redefined what co-op and playing with your friends really means in a survival world. You will be venturing out in this Nordic setting, mythological creatures to take on while you base build, and do some more casual relaxing things like fishing too. Defeating minions, taking on giant bosses and more as you explore procedure generated landscapes. Valheim is absolutely one of my favourite survival games ever. It's coming to Xbox Game Preview in early 2023, in fact by spring they've said. The game's only about 35% way through its early access life, so I'm really not expecting it to come out of early access to maybe 2024, and then at best we might see it on PlayStation in 2025. As it is a Games Pass exclusive, and most of them have been at least a year of exclusivity. So basically, if you want to play Valheim anytime soon, you're going to have to get yourself an Xbox. Another Xbox Games Pass exclusive, this is Lightyear Frontier, coming to Games Preview as well around the same time early next year. It's going to be on PC too. It's a kind of farming game though, maybe a bit more relaxed than a typical survival, as you explore an alien landscape, gathering resources by using your mech suit. You'll be able to farm, grow new crops, build bases and explore mysterious locations and possible puzzle rooms. Doesn't look like there's much in the way of combat in this game, it is more on a cozy nature. Up to 4-player co-op action, coming early 2023. This one's definitely going to hurt more than most. Ark 2, exclusively on Xbox for a good amount of time. It will come to PlayStation eventually, but it will be on Games Pass seamlessly when it launches at some point early next year. To be fair, it'll be following exactly what it did with the first one. The first one came out on Xbox and then appeared on PlayStation literally 12 months later. Seemingly, Ark 2 will enter early access just like the original as well. It's a very different game now though. No first person, third person only, but it will have modding support, especially for obviously Xbox. And despite what some negative Nellies say, it will surely come to PlayStation as well. You will get mods eventually. You'll just be missing a key few ones. Sony obviously allow mods in Fallout and Skyrim and other games as well, so don't worry about that. But yeah, a new experience, hopefully giving us what we've loved about Ark over the years, taming creatures, exploring, and obviously combat, but in a different format, more Dark Souls-like. With no more content updates coming for the original game, we all better hope it doesn't get delayed again and it doesn't make an appearance early, before June next year. Maybe still a bit of a reach for this one. Osiris New Dawn has been in development since 2016, had lots of issues due to some sort of conflict with its previous publisher, and basically progress stalled on this game massively for nearly a year and a half. But out of nowhere, the game started to receive constant updates and it's been going strong ever since. The development side anyway, no one is still playing or really talking about this game because it's just been so long and with that huge period of inactivity. But all of a sudden, earlier on this year, they announced they would be coming to Xbox and PlayStation in the future. Now they have done this before, hopefully maybe to drive some views towards their game, but hopefully it's the truth and we do see some sort of news about release next year. It's meant to be a space multiplayer game much like Ark, surrounding yourself with buildings and bases, unlocking new tools as well as ways to traverse the environment using mech suits, spaceships and a variety of lunar or rover vehicles. Add robots that can go and gather resources for you and all sorts of sandworms and alien creatures, and I'm just hoping that Osiris can deliver on what it's promised so long ago. And from one space game to another, Starfield. Yes, it's going to be a survival-led game because you're going to need oxygen by the looks of things, judging by the UI that was shown off, as you explore hundreds of different planets with all sorts of resources. In fact, maybe even 1,000. Yes, comparisons to No Man's Sky have been there for sure, but no one can doubt that the story and the quality of the writing I'm sure will be massive. Single player only though, an RPG still more like experience alongside that survival with robot companions and others as you explore, fight off against space pirates and see if you can take whatever faction you want to success and glory. No definitive release date given since its cancellation of November time, it's now just listed as early in 2023. PC, Xbox only. Concrete release date for the day before? No, not really. This has been delayed again, and it was delayed only a few weeks before it was meant to have come out, with the blame going to them upgrading to the latest Unreal Engine 5. It's meant to be The Division versus DayZ, taking on other players as well as the Zeds as you explore city environment as well as the countryside. PvP hijinks and action is the order of the day as you try and survive, with a whole host of vehicles to use too. It's had significant issues and the devs behind it haven't got the greatest reputation or history, so yeah, I really wouldn't put any bets on this coming out when it's meant to in March next year. The sliver of hope is that it will be on consoles, but not until it's gone through early access on Steam, so don't expect this until 2024 at the earliest. And another one that might not be until that time, State of Decay 3, again a PC and Xbox exclusive. Maybe more naturally since the first two games obviously were on Xbox exclusive, but yes, is this going to reinvent the series? Is it going to add a new dimensions by possibly being a proper multiplayer experience? Not just 4-player co-op, but actually maybe 50 or 60 players running around a map, surviving against Zeds and maybe each other. From the one trailer we've seen, the hook seems to be that animals are going to be more about the Zed life now, and it might be more of a focus on you actually surviving against the odds as well as the atmosphere with the weathers and seasons. Again, proper issues behind the scenes, lots of problems with conduct in the studio and basically the game just being a bit of a mess. Hence why nothing's really been seen in nearly 3 years. But you never know, strange things have happened, maybe they'll get good and we'll see a release date towards the end of 2024. Now this one's really far off, so don't get your hopes up too much, but there is a Subnautica 3 in the works. It will be multiplayer, all confirmed by me getting info from the actual dev team on comments on my previous videos talking about it, and Subnautica 3 I'm sure will be a certainty for Xbox and PlayStation in the future, given they've put it out on every platform for the previous 2 games. Survive may be in the same underwater planet, trying to get enough resources to build a base and explore more story beats in a survival game. Subnautica is one of my favourite series going. I can't wait to see eventually what they're going to do with the third one. I'm guessing maybe the final one. So don't expect to see this hit a console until at least 2024, maybe 2025, and I'm expecting some sort of Steam Early Access release at the end of next year. Hot off the press, June Awakening, a survival MMO, so maybe a bit different from what you expect from Funcom since they obviously worked on Conan Exiles. This seems to be more along the lines of New World but with survival mechanics in it, as you survive on Arrakis against the giant worms, trying to gather spice, fighting off all different factions and seemingly other players. With vehicular combat and an emphasis on melee, it does look like June Awakening won't be releasing at some point until 2024-2025. Although there is a beta that you can sign up for now, although I'm sure that won't actually begin until next year. Already confirmed, coming to all systems. Something a bit different this time, it's procedure generated tiles in a top-down survival experience, set in the kind of Wild West, but you are going to be facing off against zombies. Above Snakes has you gathering resources to base build, craft new items, armors, weapons and more, and make sure that your farmstead is up and running and protected from disease. Now it's not out till PC till next year, but they've already listed it as coming to consoles in the future too. So something a bit unique, a bit different, definitely going to check this out again as I did play it a little while ago. That was just the demo and honestly it was really great, so I can't wait to see what the full game's going to look like. Another one for way down the ways, new survival game, Project Odyssey. That's what it's called at the moment and it's made by Activision Blizzard. We haven't even got a trailer, we've only got literally 2 screenshots. That's all we know. Well, maybe. We did get some new info that says it's a bit like a Pixar movie. It's going to have the same sort of graphical art style or a mix between kind of Grounded and maybe Everwild. And you are going to be in a fantasy world where making potions is a big focus of the game. You'll be able to share and sell stuff in shops to other players across the servers, and it's going to be something akin to Ark rather than a big MMO like New World. It's been worked on apparently for the last 3 or 4 years in secret, so it could be out a little bit sooner than we think, but I'm still saying it now. I think it will go through a period on PC and then eventually appear on consoles, maybe not until 2024-2025. Activision Blizzard have had their issues lately, but there's no doubt about it, in the past they've made some of the biggest and bestest games going, so them getting their hands on survival, it could be good. We'll have to wait and see. And so, the last game that you might see on console, even though it technically already is, 7 Days to Die. One of the longest sagas going in terms of content and updates. 7 Days to Die hasn't had an update on an Xbox or PlayStation in nearly 5 years. It does look like they're finally getting their act together, the development team, Fun Pimps, and they're going to be producing a next-gen version once the PC version is finally finished, which has also spent about 10 years in development. The upcoming Alpha 21, rumoured to be the last before full release, guessing at some point early next year, it does look like consoles will finally get a new version of 7 Days to Die with a lot of the updated content that's been missing for so long. Right now it's only said that they're going to be doing it on the next gen consoles, but there is talk, they've said on Twitter, that they're looking into backport the updates so that players who already own the game on Xbox One and PlayStation 4 will be able to receive some of the newer content as well. It really will make 7 Days to Die a brand new game. There's a whole host of changes that have gone into PC, most of them liked by the community, and I'm sure console players would love a chance to play an updated version of a cult classic. So there we go, 20 survival games you need to know about coming to console. A lot of love for Xbox players, not so much for PlayStation. If you really want the best in survival games, I would recommend you pick up an Xbox, or at least get Games Pass so you can play it on your PC, mobile devices. With Grounded 1.0 fast approaching, there is going to come a time where you guys are looking for that next hit, and I'll be there as always to deliver the news, gameplay and guides. So until next time, Ratbags, I'll catch you later.